What's going on, everybody? Obscure Reference here. My name is Patrick, and I'm joined by Austin today. Got a little bit of a little bit of Deadpool Wolverine action coming at you, hot and ready. New trailer drops. Yeah,
Maybe we'll actually see Wolverine this time. And by maybe, I mean we will.
I was gonna say it seems pretty likely. Seems pretty likely. I've seen some
We
things from
didn't the
this trailer.
first time, but
No, definitely did not. They were like, we're gonna wait. We're gonna hold it in. We're gonna tease you a little bit. Tease you with some Hugh Jackman. So, but I don't know. I've seen a couple of things from this trailer, a couple of stills that I'm like, I wish I hadn't see that. But I'm really excited to watch this trailer. I don't know about you. I'm ready to dive
I
in
am
when you are.
also very excited. Let's do it.
Let's do it,
I
dude.
told you, you're not welcome here. You're not welcome
And all
anywhere.
welcome here.
Now get the fuck out of my bar.
That's just
Just give
rude,
me
dude.
one more drink and then
Very
I'll
rude.
leave.
Hey, we see him.
Hi, Peanut. I'm gonna need you to come with me right now.
Look, lady, I'm not interested.
All right, well, I'm sort of on the tick-tick.
That's
so
a good joke.
Upsy daisy. Here we go. Oh, whiskey dick of the claws.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
quite common in Wolverines over 40.
You don't want this.
Unless you want to take a deep breath through your fucking forehead, I suggest you reconsider.
Nice.
That was a cool Marvel logo.
I like the song.
I'm about to lose everything that I've ever cared
The
about.
hair doesn't work though.
Not my
For
fucking problem.
Logan.
Is that what you said when your
Yeah.
world went to shit?
Hmm.
Come again.
This Wolverine let down his entire world.
Is that TVA?
Yeah. Oh.
Want
Love
to talk about what's haunting you, or should we wait for a third act flashback?
Go fuck yourself.
Perfect. No notes.
I don't know anything about
Dude,
saving worlds.
sleeveless? Hell yeah.
You do.
Trust me, kid, I'm no hero.
Arms looking killer, dude.
Yeah.
You were an X-Man.
He's been getting jacked for this.
You were the X-Man.
It's a different character, actually.
He's kind of a jacked
soaking wet
man,
right
you
now.
know?
Boys are so silly.
That's a fun callback.
This is what I'm talking about.
Is that Ant-Man?
Yeah.
Big slow motion action sequence.
Mad Max.
That was
action
Mad
film.
Max. That's
Who
fun.
knows if you live or die?
Oh, cool.
Is this off-brand
Fucking
Tilda
go.
Swinton?
Let's fucking go.
Well. Oh, shit.
It has to be, right?
It's, no, we know who
Wanna
that
do
is.
some cocaine?
Hey, cocaine is the one thing that Feige said is off limits.
What about Bolivian marching powder?
They know all the slang terms. They have a list.
They have a
Even
list.
disco dust.
White girl interrupter?
Even Forrest Bump.
Do you want to build a snowman?
Forrest Bump is hilarious, dude. No.
You want to build a snowman's great.
Forrest Bump is hilarious.
That's so
Oh
funny.
my god, dude. Oh, that's crazy.
That looks great. Initial reactions, that looks great.
Obviously, very excited for that one.
Oh my
That
goodness.
It
Oh.
seems to be delivering on all the things that I wanted,
Mm-hmm.
and was kind of scared about them going to Disney. And I will continue to be cautious about until the movie actually comes out and I see it. But obviously, the jokes are they've still got the rated R punch.
Yes.
They obviously are having some fun with Disney and Fox for that matter.
Mm-hmm.
If you've seen some of the leaked stuff, and the action slash violence doesn't seem to have been toned down,
No,
which
yeah.
is what I was looking for. I think that that scene at the TVA makes me believe that we've got a oh shit, what was that, Logan, where we have Wolverine, bad Wolverine, and Wolverine, good Wolverine.
Oh,
And
yeah. I know what you're talking about.
so something's gonna make me like that scene where they're fighting each other makes me believe that that's the Wolverine that ends up on the floor in the TVA, and then we get Wolverine, probably sleeveless Wolverine, is the real Wolverine, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And that's how they're distinguishing the two.
Yeah, I'd have to go back and analyze that for sure, but I don't want to do that at the moment. But yeah, I think you might be onto something. But I think the TVA guy had an interesting point where he said this is the Wolverine that failed to save his world. So that's really nicely setting him up for the layup of putting Logan after this movie. Because I think that's what they said they're doing with this. Can't be too sure, but I believe that's what the case is. I got that still.
Meaning,
go for it.
so they're taking him from the Fox timeline pre-Logan, is what you're saying?
Mm-hmm. And
Got it. Okay.
and that's not me confirming anything. I don't actually know for sure, but that's kind of what I thought the case was. But maybe I'm wrong. But I almost wonder too if they're gonna somehow, in a retconny sort of way, implicate that this is the reason why Logan's world is so fucked up. But I don't know. That's just me grasping at straws at that point.
Well, I mean, we clearly are getting. I don't know. You said we know who that character is, but that looks like Tilda Swinton's character just from a different multiverse to me.
She's been the actor has been confirmed to be playing someone. Let's not have it playing. Okay, I'm trying to get a good frame of her. Oops. Oh. While I do that, I will say her name, just from cast. If you don't want me to say, I won't say what her deal is.
No, you can tell me. I don't care.
She is an X-Men villain from like the early 2000s. Why? You know what? I'm just gonna find a good still. We're just gonna go here. That's cool. All right. Her name is Cassandra Nova. I really don't know if I should say any more than that, but she's not Tilda Swinton, is what I will say.
There's a lot of weird stuff going on. I mean, this is clearly Ant-Man's body, and this still we're looking at a dead version of an Ant-Man.
Yeah, no, I'm really curious about that.
We've also got, like I said, the leaked stuff about Century Fox, like their logo in the background of that desert fight.
Well,
so there's a lot. I mean, obviously we've seen Deadpool. We've seen Doctor Strange, whether it's him or someone else. You know, his powers with the portals. We've seen the TVA. So there's clearly, and we've seen all of this kind of bending stuff, and they've got to get the Fox characters to the Disney universe. So they're clearly going to jump around a lot here if this trailer is any indication of that.
Yeah, and there's still we're looking at here where they're jumping through Doctor Strange's portal. I can't help but notice the purple cloud behind him. That kind of looks like Goliath from Loki, which would make sense if they're all getting pruned. They're going to the place at the end of time. I'm blanking on what that place is actually called, but where Goliath is essentially. So I wonder if they're going to play with that a little bit. I could see them.
This almost makes me think, and this is kind of a weird tie-in, but there's a version in the CW crossover stuff for the DC. One of the storylines is the destruction of every multiverse, and so they're basically fighting to the one last planet, and that's almost what this seems like here. Is we're getting like end stage versions of different verses, right? So we've got a dead Ant-Man. He clearly failed. We're talking about a dead or not dead. Well, I guess he dies. A Wolverine that fails.
Yeah.
And so I'm gonna guess we're talking about someone is trying to take over the multiverse, right? They are gonna kill a bunch of the the Fox universe essentially, and it's the Deadpool can't do anything about it other than jump to the new timeline. And that's the kind of general premise we're talking about here.
Yeah. No, I think that'll be pretty close to what's happening here. I think the TA is gonna pull in Deadpool like, hey, we need this Logan guy. We also need you to stop this multiversal threat that's happening. That is Cassandra Nova, I guess. But I honestly, there's still so much we don't know about this. There's a lot of cameos that they're teasing. I think. I mean, even the first trailer we saw for this, we saw the original Pyro from the Fox movies. But all of that kind of begs the question, for me at least, the post-credit scene in the Marvels where Monica wakes up in the Fox X Mansion with Frasier beast. I'm blanking on the actor's name. Um, but that more or less to me at least seemed like that was the Fox universe. Are we going to get a follow up to that post credit scene, and the next movie immediately after that is, I don't know. That's what's
Yeah,
on my
that's
mind.
there's an interesting take there, or an interesting pull in there. I wasn't even really thinking about that. I'm kind of, this trailer has brought up, I don't know if concern is the right word for me, but a lot of the Marvel products that they've been putting out recently have been dealing with this whole multiverse and the TVA and all of that, obviously with the stuff with Loki and Kang and all that coming.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say that there's kind of a spectrum of how good and bad they've done it and blended it in, because, kind of like what happened to um, Spider-Man, you can take away from their own story when you connect them too much into the larger universe and use their movie as,
Mm-hmm.
progressing the overall story more than the individual story. And I think, for Deadpool himself, because he's kind of like the only thing, well, I guess, and Logan now, who's going to jump to the new um, Disney timeline, it kind of can work. But we have to walk a fine line here of how much this takes away from it being a Deadpool movie, and
Mm-hmm.
how much it's a multiversal, whatever you want it to be kind of thing, because Deadpool is not, you know, Galactus, or doesn't generally, fight those. Obviously, there's the whole like Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe
Mm-hmm.
comic book line, so it's not that he can't do it, um, but not something we've ever, seen this version of the character do. He's been on generally fairly small scale stuff in his two movies,
Right.
so that's something I'm going to be watching for, how well they can really balance that in the movie as well.
Yeah, you bring up a good point because yeah, this movie is called Deadpool and Wolverine. I think it will. The hope you would imagine from a title like that is that it focuses on both of them as characters. So yeah, you bring up a good point there. Because yeah, it'll be a lot of like, ooh, cool cameo. Here's this bright, flashy thing. Ooh, TVA. Um, it'll be easy to get distracted from that, and I think that's one of my biggest problems with the second Doctor Strange movie is that it kind of forgets to put Doctor Strange's character thread in there, and we start he starts in one place and then we just cut to the end of the movie somewhere else different. It doesn't feel earned. Um,
Yeah,
so
that was definitely a movie that had the Sam Raimi look, but not as much the Sam
yes,
Raimi story, writing, I should say.
yeah, and I don't chalk all that up to Sam Raimi. That's probably more of a
No,
Marvel Studios
I
problem.
think the parts that he had the most freedom in were the best, right? I mean, you think about
Mm,
that whole fight with the musical notes, and like
yeah,
his ability to shoot things where he's like, he's directing the camera and all of that. I think were great. I think that the story itself was the thing that held that
yeah,
movie back.
I'd agree. Yeah, I think where you can truly see where Sam Raimi shines in that movie, but it's not all his movie, unfortunately. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, I'll
And
be
that's the one
curious.
that kind of worries me, is kind of crossing over with this, because I mean, well, for one, the cameos kind of sucked in general, in my opinion. Like they weren't,
Yeah, and Doctor Strange. Yeah,
yeah, what I really wanted, and so that,
I liked them for the record, but I do see how someone might not like them. I get it.
it's just, I mean, like, and I'm, big Patrick Stewart fan, but all of that just did that whole part didn't really work for me. But
Mm, I put.
I guess, I don't know, maybe, Deadpool is just a better character than um Doctor Strange was.
Yeah, and I'll be curious to see if they're able to pull it off because I think characters that are able to destroy the fourth wall, and I could see going, at least in the comics, go different dimensions, and like you said, Deadpool kills the Marvel universe is, has happened at least a couple of times, I think. So like this is something I, as someone who's familiar with the comics a little bit, can picture Deadpool doing. Not so much Doctor Strange, though. He, with his mystic powers, he is more likely to jump dimensions, I guess. But I think Deadpool, with the way his character is, the way he's making all these references and stuff. Like if you check the poster, not that they put out today, but I think the one from yesterday, the day before, it's like a mock, not mocking, it's a parody of the Logan poster, where it's like X-23 holding onto Logan's hand, but it's Deadpool holding onto one of his claws. Um, like Deadpool's a perfect character, I think, to kind of bridge some of these universes. I don't want to say perfect. Let me take that back. He's a good character to kind of like bridge these universes together in a way that doesn't feel weird because it is Deadpool and it's just gonna get weird anyway.
Well, that's where I'm like, I think Deadpool, the Marvel character,
Mm-hmm.
makes sense. Whereas I'm not sure Ryan Reynolds' Deadpool
Mm-hmm.
makes a ton of sense in that, like, I think it's kind of like what happened with Doctor Strange, and like all of a sudden Doctor Strange was like incredible at everything in terms of like they had to seriously level him up to be
Yeah.
like, you need to go fight a multiversal situation, and like that could be a potential issue here with Deadpool of like, we went from Deadpool fighting needing a team, in Deadpool 2 to Deadpool kills Ant-Man and kills the Hulk and like whatever, whatever it may be. And you're just like, okay.
Yeah. No, I'll have to see.
Especially when like part of what you're selling this movie on is like, hey, there's a bromance between Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, and I'm like, I kind of want that over I want Deadpool is fighting the multiverse.
Yeah. No, and that's honestly, I'll get excited for cameos. There's some stuff I heard through the grapevine that sounds exciting as hell, but yeah, at the end of the day, like Wolverine and Deadpool has a very underrated like relationship in the comics. I think it's a lot of fun when done right. And I think this movie has the potential. I mean, just seeing the social media accounts of like Hugh Jackman and Ryan Reynolds like bicker on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, like they at least have an idea of what they're doing with their relationship, and that gives me some hope for this because I think that's probably the one thing I'm looking forward to the most.
It does really make me wish that Deadpool 2 was Hugh Jackman and Wolverine and not Cable, because then you could just go into this movie with their relationship already existing, and we don't have to like wait for 2/3 of the movie to build a relationship. We could just be like, and Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman, who are already clearly have a like good relationship and all of that, and then and it's on screen.
Yeah, no, I think in a better world where they're able to plan out more of this in advance, I think that would be the way to do it. I think Hugh Jackman, retiring pretty much right before Deadpool 2 came out, kind of made that, tricky or whatever. But and who could have guessed that Disney would buy Fox like they did? But
right.
So in an ideal world, I agree with you. I think we would have had them team up a little before this, but we'll see what they're able to pull off with this movie, I guess.
Yeah, even saying all that, like I said, I'm still super excited about this. Given that the rated R stayed, we're going to be able to see Wolverine in his true form and more of Deadpool doing that. And even if it was like a John Wick level, like John Wick 1 level story in terms of a very simple concept that plays so well on the screen that it could still work. So, at worst, I'm going to just enjoy a good action movie, and at best, this could be, the best thing Marvel has put out in recent times.
Yeah.
I just think it has a wide breadth of what it could be, right? It could be, like, really good to, like, middling, which I guess is most of the MCU right now, so more of the same, I suppose.
Yeah, and I'm a little frustrated that I agree with you on that. I do think this one has a little bit of a higher potential ceiling, but I also don't know for sure. It seems like early buzz is positive, but that can mean anything at this point. I don't know.
Right.
I just want to see them fuck each other up like they do in the comics and bounce back because they're Wolverine and Deadpool. So that's all.
I do appreciate that shot of like the first trailer shows Deadpool on the ground with Wolverine's shadow over him, and then we get both of them on top of each other in the same shot as the second one. That was really cool. That was the one still I saw that I was like, that's pretty sick.
Yeah, and I love how violent that was. Like you see his claws like go into it, like what was it, into his crotch or whatever, and Deadpool's shooting him in the sides too. Like that's fucking violent for an MCU movie. I'm all in for it.
Yep.
Cool. All right, well, that's going to be our thoughts on this second trailer for Deadpool and Wolverine. What are your thoughts on the trailer? What are you excited about? What cameos are you hoping to see? Leave them in the comments below. Also, while you're there, don't forget to leave a like on the video and subscribe. Maybe hit that notification bell so you know when we post new videos or go live. We stream every Mondays and Fridays with some bonus streams here and there as well. Follow us on our socials. Links are also in the description probably. And they are. according to Austin, and he is right. I said probably because I'm not confident. Anyway, thanks for stopping in. Thanks for watching our reaction. Have a good day.